Washington song, actually. Um, we do a few of his, The Christ in You. Uh, there's one I really want to do, and it's a rap song that he wrote. We used to do that. It's it's called I don't remember the title right now. But we used to do it, so I want to bring that
Is that
back
the
sometime.
Cosmic Rap?
Cosmic Rap, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. That was wonderful. It was perfect. I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you, John and Chris, for getting together to record that.
It's fun. Really fun.
So good morning again, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. And for those of you who are watching the live stream, thank you for joining us. And if you'd ever like to join us for the whole service on Zoom, feel free to email unity@unityspiritualcenter.com and we'll send you the link. So today's talk title is Keep It Simple. And I'd like to start with a story. An eccentric philosophy professor gave a one-question final exam after a semester dealing with a broad array of topics. The class was already seated and ready to go when the professor picked up his chair, plopped it on his desk, and wrote on the board, "Using everything we have learned this semester, prove that the chair does not exist." Well, fingers flew, erasers erased, notebooks were filled with furious fashion. Some students wrote over 30 pages in 1 hour, attempting to refute the existence of a chair. One member of the class, however, was up and finished in less than a minute. Within weeks later, when the grades were posted, the rest of the group wondered how he could have gotten an A when he had barely written anything at all. His answer consisted of 2 words: what chair? You can't get any simpler than that, right? What chair? Oh, anyone with experience in a 12-step program is familiar with the acronym KISS. It stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid. KISS started in the 1960s with the US Navy. The KISS principle states that most systems work best if they are kept simple rather than made complicated. Therefore, simplicity should be a key goal in design, and unnecessary complexity should be avoided. Now, I appreciate what KISS means, but I'm not fond of the stupid part. It's judgmental and it's negative. So some variations of KISS that are much more palatable are keep it simple, silly, keep it short and simple, keep it simple and straightforward, keep it small and simple, keep it sweet and simple. So whichever one you resonate with, just remember KISS, keep it simple and sweet. Don't we wish that life could be simple? I know I certainly do, especially lately. You know, though sometimes the complications can be intriguing and exciting as we wander through the possibilities, but then again, maybe not. Maybe we just want a life of simplicity. Yet even with all the complexity, there is a part of life that can be simpler, our spiritual life. In Matthew 6:33, Jesus says, "Seek first the kingdom, and all these things shall be yours as well." Seek ye first the kingdom. That kingdom is communion with God, and it's available to us anytime. It's right within each of us. This is the foundation of the simple life. It's God we want. And when we find our creator, when we find that source within us, we find that joy and that contentment. The things that happen to us and our memories and our possessions are significant, but nothing is as important as our relationship to the divine. When the simple life is lived, the experience, our earthly experience, flows from our oneness with God. The divine is the source of life and many of its experiences. But because of our conscious spiritual unfoldment, another choice presents itself. We can choose to allow only God's will to express in our lives, not out of a sense of sacrificing our own will, but out of a clear recognition that God's will for us and our own will for ourselves are one and the same. But in order to know that, in order to be in that space, to be in that flow, we have to let go of that part of ourselves that wants to control, that wants things to happen the way we want them to happen, when we want them to happen. Our will and God's will are one because we are one. And what is God's will? Good. God's will for us is good. God only wants good for us all the time. And if it's good for all involved in every moment, in every situation, this is what we strive for. The power of God is a power devoted to our highest and greatest good in all things. What more could we possibly want for ourselves? And since that power knows more of good than we do, why not simply allow that power to lead us forward? We find that real happiness, true fulfillment, does not come from the accumulation of things, does not come from anything outside ourselves. A simple, contented life flows from our oneness in God, from our oneness with God, for the awareness of that presence within us. And it takes commitment, but once that commitment is made, we can relax knowing that we are where we're meant to be, experiencing what we're meant to experience, guided clearly, joyfully, and lovingly every step of the way. That doesn't mean that it's always easy. Growth opportunities, as we call them, also known as challenges, will arise, and there's no way we can ignore them. We will need to process them and feel every human feeling known. But during that process, we can also know that these challenges are opportunities to create even greater good. And we are not alone. Spirit is guiding us every step of the way. These challenges may not make sense in the moment. In fact, they may never make sense. But if nothing else, they offer us the opportunity to let go, to release, to have faith, and to trust. You know, every good cook has a few tried and true recipes that can be relied on when all else fails. And musicians have a repertoire of pieces that they can adapt for a variety of situations. All of us will find the challenges of life easier to deal with if we develop a spiritual repertoire as well. Whatever the situation, we know that faith, trust, and most of all, love is the answer. Jesus and every great spiritual teacher has taught that God is love, and therefore we are love. But when we find ourselves caught up in anger, fear, resentment, insecurity, or other negative emotions, it can be difficult to find anything to love, to be grateful for in the situation that's happening in that moment. That's when we have a spiritual toolbox, and that's when that toolbox comes into play. In unity, we call it being prayed up. That means that if we are continually in a state of prayer and gratitude, when those difficult times come, we'll be equipped to handle them. Now, everything can be a prayer. Acts of kindness, gazing at nature, all those things that bring us to our heart center and the feelings of love, that's a prayer. Another thing we can do is to think of people, places, images that easily suggest some of the many aspects of love that we have known in our lives. Our children, scenes of nature, pets, friends, family, partners, all of these will do that, will put us in touch with the deep well of love that exists within us. For me, all I have to do is thinking of my adult boys, hearing them teasing one another and playing and laughing automatically transports me to that divine essence of love. Again, seek first the kingdom. The kingdom is ours when we embrace love, health, companionship, and peace of mind. We know that those things are the riches of an abundant life. The process then is simply release the situation at hand. Shift your inner focus from your head to the heart. Call up from your love repertoire. Call up a loving feeling, an image, a memory, and feel the energy of that love flowing through you as a result. Take this love back to the now moment and see how your awareness changes, even in the midst of conflict or chaos. This well within us of good is always there. Love doesn't end. Love is continuous and lives within each of us. Life is simplified when we are more willing to express love than to get love. Yeah, it's simple, but when we're in the thick of things, so to speak, it can be difficult. The simplicity comes in when our lives are already free of those things and events and people that no longer serve us. We bless them and let it go. We practice forgiveness and allow the lesson to sink in. It is in releasing and in forgiveness that we free ourselves and let go to receive. We then have the opportunity to look at and review our lessons and our truths. And then with honesty, we can move into integrity. Our integrity is our guide, our direct link to heart wisdom. It's our intuition speaking to us. When we have our integrity or our essence, our divine essence guiding us, it's very simple to make good choices when we're presented with choices. One of the greatest gifts we have is the opportunity to choose, and we always have the opportunity to choose. When we get to choose between two or more growth opportunities, it's there for us. It could be a choice between what to say and what not to say, to have the wisdom in that moment to know to speak this would be hurtful, therefore I will not say it. And the honesty in that moment allows us to go within and see, where is this coming from? We know any negativity or any judgment comes from within us. And it's usually ego-based, if not always ego-based. So living from our integrity is being totally honest with what's going on within us and allowing our divinity to rise and acting from that place. We always have choices. Think of the choices you've already made today. Some of those choices were easy, they were habits. But you had a choice this morning to join us or not join us, and you chose to join us. You know, so some may consider that a good choice. Others might consider it not a good choice. The thing is, we always have a choice And it's not about being good or bad. It's about what choice brings us to feelings of peace. What choice brings us to be aligned with our soul? Those are the choices that are there, that we use, that we make, living from our essence. And if we make a choice that doesn't bring us to peace, that doesn't bring love, again, we have the opportunity to look at that without judgment and ask ourselves, okay, how can I do this differently next time? Or what did I need to learn from this choice? This choice did not bring me to peace. Therefore, I have the opportunity to do it differently. The simple life is a life of prayer, more listening and waiting than speaking and asking. We seek the kingdom by seeking an awareness of God. For we know this consciousness is the foundation of life and the answer to every human need. You know, we can think of prayer as a conversation between two friends, between you and your divinity. It's a conversation. Now, friendships don't develop when one person does all the talking and is constantly asking for help and asking for attention. Powerful relationships unfold when we listen. So prayer is not only about being in that moment and absorbing the energy of love and expressing that, it's listening. Sure, we move into prayer when things are not good, when we ask for assistance, when we ask to be moved to peace, when we ask to be able to move through something that's difficult. But it's also about listening, asking, releasing, and listening. When we are working with and are in alignment with divine spirit, then all our choices will be good because we will be functioning from our heart center, from love, from that place of oneness. And even if we don't get what it is we thought we wanted, or the result doesn't look like what we wanted, it'll be okay because we will be in the flow of spirit. We will always be conscious of our choices, and we will always know that only good is there for us. I know the past couple of years have been challenging. We've all had to adjust and adapt to changes, and the changes continue. But we wouldn't be here at this point if Spirit had not led us here for a reason. You know, the simple life is also a life of thanksgiving because our joy does not depend on the world around us. Our joy and gratitude do not originate in conditions, but rise from our relationship with God. By learning to say thank you to every experience we have, we move from a place of resistance where we feel like a victim to a place of acceptance, where we can be okay with change and eventually even embrace it. This simple act allows us to move forward with our lives in leaps and bounds. Unfortunately, most of the time we're so caught up in either avoiding pain or just getting through the day that we forget to be in the moment and enjoy the beauty around us. Enjoy all that we have. Enjoy all the people in our lives. And most of all, enjoy the ability to give and receive love. I found a wonderful affirmation when I was researching this talk. And the affirmation is, the externals of my life may sometimes still seem chaotic, but I am centered and at peace, knowing that in surrendering to the power of God, I am always where I'm meant to be. You know, it may not seem that things are getting simpler as we grow in spiritual awareness, but they are. We can still choose to experience life as a complicated series of intricate challenges. And if that's our choice, that's fine. But we also have the power to rise above and allow ourselves to keep it simple by knowing and affirming that with God, all things are possible. Because we seek the kingdom first. And when we do that, life is simple. And we can keep it sweet and simple. So now I invite you to prepare as we get ready to move into our meditation. So I invite you to take the thing, and if there's anything on your lap, to just remove it. Sit in a comfortable position. Put your feet flat on the floor and your hands comfortably on your lap. And just close your eyes and breathe. Allow yourself to just breathe in comfortably and feel each breath relaxing you more and more. Scan and check your body to see if there's tension being held anywhere. And just breathe into that space and feel relaxation occurring. Whatever muscles may have been tense are now relaxing more and more with each breath you take. And you feel your breath slowing down and settling, and you breathe at a comfortable pace for you. This is a beautiful time of year, the harvest. And it's in this fullness of time that we allow ourselves to move into meditation. We cultivate new beliefs and behavior patterns that vaporize out of existence all false ideas, all thoughts of insufficiency, all thoughts of lack. This is the fullness of time, the exact right season in which we reap our bountiful harvest. In the fullness of time season, I am open to receive every needed resource that meets all my obligations on time and in full. In the fullness of time season, I express wellness and well-being at my core as the divine intelligence within my body's systems and cells aligns itself with the original blueprint of wholeness with which I was created. All I need to know, understand, and experience is revealed to my receptive and open heart and mind with clarity, and I no longer doubt. I witness with awe everything working out with divine synchronicity for the highest and best for myself and for all. All I need to give and receive, do and be, release and create, now manifest with divine congruence, because the fullness of time has arrived. Harvest is here, and I reap the goodness that God wants for me. I affirm this for myself. I affirm this for all humankind. And when challenges arise, I know that within me All the answers exist. And I am safe and secure in the awareness of this divine presence within me. And now I move deeper and deeper into the silence. I bring any concerns and cares that I may have, and I give them to the Holy Spirit to transform for me. For I am never alone, and what I may not be able to do, Holy Spirit can do and does it for me. And so now I just listen. And now I invite you to bring to mind anyone you know who may be in need of prayer. We include ourselves in that. We include everyone on our unity prayer list, on the silent unity prayer list. And we extend these prayers to the wider circle of the world. We affirm the original wholeness and oneness with which is within each of us. We affirm and know that whatever temporary condition we are experiencing, there is a power and a presence within each of us that will see us through any obstacle, that will see us through any fears or feelings of lack. True abundance is ours because we are made of love and we are one with our Creator. All conditions in the world are temporary. But the truth of who we are, our divinity, our innate love, our oneness is never ending. And we are so grateful for this awareness. And now I invite you to bring your consciousness back into your body, into the room where you are. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back, everyone. This is the opportunity that occurs every week at our service where we have the opportunity to give. And I invite you to hold your gifts in your hand or to visualize the donate button on our website, the link on our Facebook stream, the PayPal symbol, a credit card, whatever method you use, just visualize that symbol in your hand. And know that the love that you are extends energetically into these gifts. And we know that we live in an abundant universe that supports us in all that we do. We know that as we give, we receive, and we are so grateful for the opportunity to give and to open up to receive all the good that is ours. When we give, we open a space to receive. So the more we give, the more we receive. And I invite you to bless these gifts with me. And with your mics muted, together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I choose to give and all that I am open to receive. And I am grateful. And thank you to those watching our live stream. Again, if you'd like to join us via Zoom, feel free to email us at unity@unityspiritualcenter.org.